Hey guys, help support the show. Become a member and send a super chat. Remember, we do it for you, and we do it for the culture. And for all those FBI agents that are watching us, hey, we're just trying to get by. If we use some clips, we're doing it in a way that's educational. So please don't flag our videos. Please. For us smaller content creators, it's hard to already get by. And then you go flagging, taking all the ad revenue. Come on. Come on. But here we go for the first episode of Everything and Anything. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Everything and Anything. So everything and anything is on the table for topics, guys. I've been wanting to do a show like this for a long time. I've always had that like talk show. I've always wanted that like talk show style show, and that's what I'm gonna do on Sundays on my day off. Is I'm gonna do an hour of just like let's look up some. It's kind of almost as if I'm just filming myself looking up funny things on the internet, Does that make sense? But we're going to do it together, and we're going to laugh together, and it's going to be really fun, and we'll get used to it. And I know it's not like super hard pop culture driven, but that's not to say we will not be talking about pop culture subjects. Like today, we'll be talking a little bit about Halo, and for that reason, I brought in my main man, Black Ops. What's going on?
Nothing much, just ready to talk some topics.
Hell yeah. And guys, remember, if you are a content creator, use our code and sign up for TubeBuddy to start utilizing their amazing tools. Let TubeBuddy do the work for you. Use code POP for pop. And if you're a small content creator, TubeBuddy is a great resource to use. I use it for anything. You can create thumbnails. I don't use that service, but you can create thumbnails, and then it helps you like do your tagging and your SEO. It's a great tool. Also, for all of us Massachusetts folk, the Springfield Comic-Con is coming up. Myself and Saggy Melons are going to have a booth, and we're going to be doing a live show from the Springfield Comic-Con, and we're going to have some guests from the con supplied. I've been in talks with Springfield Comic-Con for a while now. So, hopefully we get to do some really fun things there. So stay tuned for that. That's in July. So, we have some time. But get your tickets and head to the website. I put it in the description below. And you can start seeing who they're gathering for, panelists and such. With that being said, though, let's get on to what really matters. Some funny stuff, right? Actually, no. First, we'll start with Halo. So, what did you think of the Halo show? Because for me, personally, and I related it to World of Warcraft, right? I went into World of Warcraft never seeing or never playing anything before, right? Halo, same thing. I've played a couple times, but I don't know the story. I don't know anything. The show kind of jumps right into the action, and I feel like general audiences, like, we don't know what the fuck is going on. Like, why are these people at war? You know what I mean? I feel like the studio expects us to know the backstory when half of us don't. So that's the only down thing I have to say about it. Other than that, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great intro episode. Lots of Michael Bay booms.
Oh yeah,
And like right in here, that's a Michael Bay shot if I've ever seen it. Right? Tell me that's not a Michael Bay exclusive right there.
it would be more like with an orangish tint, and there'll be gravel flying everywhere. I feel like that would be a little bit more Michael Bay.
Well, speaking of Michael Bay, his newest movie, Ambulance, it's got a 78. It's only been reviewed like 50 times, but it's got a 78. So, it's that new movie with Jill.
Surprised it's that high.
No. Did you see the trailer for it?
Yeah, I saw before
Kind of looks
Batman started.
intense, dude. It
It
looks
looks intense,
intense.
but the trailer was like 3 minutes long and gave me like the whole plot. It
But it
felt
gave me
like
super anxiety as well. Like I had high anxiety watching that trailer.
I just kind of laughed. I'm like, why are they showing so much? Like they're showing the whole plot, the reason why they're doing this, like that they end up going in an ambulance with this chick and they have to get out, and it's like, and then they show clips of them ditching the ambulance. I'm like, okay, okay,
Yeah.
now y'all are showing too much.
It's kind of like, remember those movies? It was like cell phone, phone booth. It was those types of movies. I feel like it's kind of like a return to that,
Seems so.
where it's like, the name of the movie is like where the movie takes place.
Yeah,
Like
literally the
phone
setting.
booth. The movie takes place in a phone booth, and you wouldn't expect it to be good, but it is. I liked Phone Booth. I thought it was a great film. I don't know about you, but anyway. So Halo, how true does this stick to the source material?
It's I mean, they take core elements from kind of the books and the games a little bit, especially with characters, but they kind of switch up a bunch of different things. Obviously, the most clear and clean cut example or difference is Master Chief's removing his helmet, because in the games he's never done that, and I don't believe, I haven't read the books in a long time, but I don't think he does it there either. So that's a clear indication that there's differences. Which, I mean, it's an adaptations, and it's kind of like its own take on the story, but they're getting a lot of things right with it, especially with stuff that people love from the
Yeah.
games. But one of
Well,
the
some
clear
things don't adapt.
yeah,
Some things you can't adapt correctly, and with any adaptation, you're going to have minor tweaks, minor
yeah, to give you
twists.
something new.
Exactly, because why would I tell you the same exact story that you've already been told? It's
Exactly, but
that's
just
no
make it live
fun.
action.
Yeah, just
It's not
literally.
exactly good for creatives, and I honestly
Exactly.
I would never want to do that. But it feels like the UNSC is a little bit more just like diabolical in this show, especially with some of their tactics that
Yeah,
they do.
getting the vibe from that. It's
Because
from
it's
from
you
the.
know
I don't know if she's Indian or like Pakistani. I don't know what nationality she is,
yeah,
but that woman, um, she gives me like uh Hunger Games vibes, like the bad overlord vibe.
yeah. Like the tactics that they do is like they basically made well, I call it Blue Squadron, but I think they call it like what, Silver Team, but it's like sounds like
Silver Squad, yeah, like
Silver
no,
Squad,
no,
but
yeah,
it sounds like
silver
blue Team from the
Alpha
game.
Silver Squad or something like that. I
Yeah.
don't know. What's up, Eric Z? What's up, Sam, Billy, myself, Black Hops, Adam, uh, Brian, Nick? You guys are what's going on? TW, what's good, boys? And my weekend, yeah, Springfield Comic Con, man. Saggy Melons and I. So Saggy took me to a convention, and that's where we met Ray Fisher. That's where we met Ray Fisher. So I decided that I'm going to bring Saggy because she did me a solid. So Saggy Melons paid for me to get picture with a picture for Ray Fisher, and she paid for the ticket for the Comic Con, just so I would go. And so I'm returning the favor by she's gonna be my co-host and for the Springfield Comic Con. And listen, it's gonna be really fun. We're gonna have our own table. All the microphones will be set up, cameras will be set up, and it's gonna be like we're gonna be interviewing. We're gonna be interviewing, cosplayers, guests, everybody, anyone who come on camera, sign a release form. We'll be talking to. So and they've we're working on getting access to. There's like 4 guests I'd like to speak to, and see if we can get them over in. So I can't. I'm really really looking forward to it. As something new, like I've never done before, and it's gonna be really fun. Uh, really really fun. But yeah, so sticks close to the source material. Um,
Relatively, as much as you
relatively.
would kind of expect, and I just think that I don't think I've ever seen a human with the Covenant. I think that's kind of interesting and new. Like if I could
Right.
think correctly, because I don't think I've
So the
ever seen it
covenant
in the
is
games.
those creatures, correct?
Yes, yes.
the creatures that attacked Madrigal or
Yeah,
whatever it's called.
Madrigal. Yeah.
Is it Madrigal? Did I get it right?
Yeah. Yeah, you got it right.
Look, I'm already picking up the lingo. I'm a Halo. Call me a Halo expert. I already picked up the lingo.
You already got it. You already nailed it.
UNSC. No, that was wrong.
Yeah, no, that was right. UN.
Look,
Yeah.
look,
You
look.
got it. You're
I'm
nailing
already
it.
picking it up. Master Chief. He's Petty Officer 117. Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. Cool. So, yeah, Halo. Looks good. When do episodes air?
I don't know. I can Google that real quick. I was actually wondering that myself.
If you will, Google that. But we have so much in store for you guys today. Listen, this show is going to be everything I've ever wanted to do. So I have multiple headlines that I'd like to talk about. At the bottom, you'll see the scroll, kind of like a news channel, like a CNN style thing. Those are some of the topics that I have. If you could see, look, there's a dog ditched at shelter for being gay, and it was adopted the next day.
I think it's every Thursday because I'm seeing on the first article that pops up because it's not like there's an actual release schedule I could find, but it says
if you just look at what the when did the first episode air, find out what day that is.
I think it was the 24th. And then it seems like it's gonna come out
Thursday
Thursdays.
show.
Yeah, it's
Thursday show, guys. All right, Thursday, new episode of Halo every Thursday. We'll be talking about it every single week till season 1 wraps up because I think this is a show. I subscribe to Paramount Plus because of it.
It's their most viewed show currently, which is actually really surprising considering the controversies around the helmets stuff. Which honestly, I just like. I'm.
Do you think there'll be an episode 2 drop off because of that?
I mean,
that'd be shitty. That'd be super shitty if people really like dropped off just because.
But this has been like a well-known thing for a while now. Like I've been like I had enough.
What do you
mean?
Did
it well.
Explain that.
They dropped off.
Explain what you just said, because a lot. I have no idea what you mean.
About the whole situation with the helmet.
You said What did you just say? You said.
Okay, I was gonna say.
You said it's a well-known thing. What's a well-known
thing? Well, it's been announced for a while.
That he's going to take his helmet off.
Yeah. So I think they did it well with that idea that they're gonna just give out that information to give people time to basically process it. Because if I found out during that episode that he did that, and I had no other information kind of leaning me towards that, I would be pretty pissed, and I would probably not watch the second episode because that's just like. That's kind of a big thing, I guess.
In the story, in the context of the story,
it made sense. Yeah, and that's what we talked about.
But maybe that should have been episode 2. Maybe episode 1 we get a little bit more backstory, like what's going on. Why is the UNC fighting the outer colonies, and what's actually going on? Who's the good guy? Who's the bad guy? Because right now it seems like the bad guys are the people that I thought I was rooting for, and that was Halo, the guy. What does Halo mean?
Halo. Man,
what is that in reference to in this world?
That's a long. Is it
the thing that he touches?
That's kind of like a key, I would say, for it to kind of. But it's been a while since I played the game, and I have like an idea in my head of how to explain it, but the way I'm thinking about it requires so much detail. And I could go I'm gonna see if I can Google it real quick. To help me out a little bit, explain it.
Actually, 1 second. I did misplace something, so look that up real quick. 1 sec. I gotta find this thing.
Because I'm trying to see, I don't know if anyone else in the chat could explain this better, but because the way I was going to explain it is how it kind of gets more introduced in the first and like a little bit in the first, but then mostly in the second and third, and especially that. But then again, that was a lot about the flood. But
why can't I find it? Where did I put it? Did you keep talking so it's not silent?
Yeah. I was just explaining that.
Give me 2 seconds.
Okay, so there's like nothing that really. Man, Google's not helping me out at all. Halo Array. Aha, right here. They, I think no. Okay, this. Okay, let's see if this is actually right because it does. Because the way they're saying it right off the bat doesn't sound like ours. The Halo Array is a group of fictional megastructures and super weapons in
I
the
think I know
Halo
where it is.
science fiction franchise, consisting of ring worlds known as halos built by a structure known as the Ark. They are referred to as installations of their artificial intelligent caretakers and were created by an ancient race known as the Forerunners, which the artifacts that Master Chief picks up and touches, and the thing is a Forerunner artifact, or
Okay.
basically called a
Okay.
Forerunner. That's
Okay.
why, and that leads me back to another thing about why the UNSC seems a little bit different in this one, because it seems like they completely wiped their memories at an early
Yeah.
age,
Yeah.
and they just
So
kind of use them as a death squad rather than like what they're using in the game, which is kind of a little bit more ethically sound, I would say. But yeah, but they kind of got ahead
someone
of things.
Shri said it. I think it was Shri or some or I don't remember who said it. Someone said it's actually Sam just said it too. They seem like Judge Dredd more, like where they're like conditioned, where
They're mind controlled.
they're
They
mind
have less
controlled. Yeah,
autonomy, which is something that I think is it's interesting because it basically seems like they're programmed soldiers without like a soul or conscience. But then of course when he touches the artifact, he's like he gains himself back.
back. Yeah. Who is
Which
he seeing? You know?
who's he seeing?
Yeah.
I think that's himself when
Okay.
he's younger and stuff like that. He had a family and stuff.
Okay.
I believe that's what they're going with. I honestly need to replay the games and kind of get a refresher because I haven't played them in years. But I think that's basically what they're doing. Which another thing is, it seems like Master Chief kind of went rogue early on. I would expect for them to kind of flesh out kind of his role in the UNSC a little bit more than rather than one mission and kind of just establish kind of like where they
Yeah.
are.
Exactly. No,
But
I think that's what everyone was
but
saying
either
was
way, it's
we needed
same
a little
result.
bit more backstory in this because of it.
I mean, for casual audiences, I definitely do think they somewhat explained it decently. The conflict, because the UNSC is controlling, and these outer
I
colonies
guess it's going to
are
be in the
just
dialogue between characters that we pick up the backstory. You know what
yeah.
I mean? Like the conversation between the father and son. I mean father and daughter.
Hmm.
That's where we're going to pick up like a lot of like why the whys and the hows and everything like that.
And we
Um
kind of got a little bit of more of like why there's conflict and why there's like tension between Master Chief and the girl, and it's because like they're basically a death squad and they're just like told to do something and they didn't question it and they just did it.
dude, they came in like dude, that first like the first 15 minutes, wow. Like dude, when
Hmm.
those kids like when it was in Madrigal, whatever it's called,
Got blown up.
what no, yeah, when they were standing there and they were like, oh, they were talking after she discovers the ship, and then these all of a
Hmm.
sudden, blow, blow, like these
I
kids
was
just get
yeah.
incinerated. I was like, oh, this show is legit. I was like, they are not fucking around. Like
That's
they
literally everyone's reaction that I've heard.
and
Like
then
everyone's like,
and
uh,
then and then that the thing the what is it called? What are they called? The
uh,
bad guy,
oh, the
the blue
elites.
things,
Yeah, the
the
elites.
creation,
What do you mean the
the
creation?
bad guys, the ones who attacked the base.
Yeah, those are elites, Covenant elites,
Oh, Covenant. That's what I was looking for.
Covenant
Um,
elites. Yeah,
dude, he literally shoots an entire bunker vault full of children.
yeah.
Like just,
That's
just, just,
crazy.
just Obi. I'm not, not Obi. Literally, just Anakin Skywalker's the shit out of all of those kids, and has no remorse, but then gets picked off like in the head, like so. I don't
They
know.
yeah, I think they
They
did a
went
really good.
hard, man.
Yeah,
They
they
went
did
real
good.
hard.
I was really shocked. That was like one thing I was worried about. Like, are they gonna get brutal? Are they kind of like gonna like pull a Morbius where Morbius like cuts someone's throat and there's no blood, it's just even falls to the floor? I'm like, are they gonna like pull that type of like,
Right,
or are they
right.
gonna go full on crazy? And they went full. They didn't hold anything back. which was really cool, and I do like, because in the games, which most people like who watch the show, or at least are kind of casually watching it, understand and kind of like have seen the games or played a little bit of them, they kind of understand that, yeah, in the games there's that much, like kind of like juice, I would say alien juice spewing out. So it's cool. I definitely enjoy it, and it's probably not my favorite adaptation. I think I still like Forward Unto Dawn a little bit more.
I like The
But
Witcher the most.
oh yeah. Well,
The Witcher
that's
adaptation wise, I think is still
yeah.
the best there is. I think, hands down, it's just the best adaptation there is. Like but Halo, like this show is like it had me enjoying it. Like it had me on the edge of my seat. I had a lot of fun watching it. And I definitely, for anyone out there who has not watched, I recommend paying the $4.99 for limited ads and getting Paramount Plus. You get a week free, so you get to watch the first episode for free and see if you like it. So definitely a buy. Let's call it a buy.
Yeah. I would say that I would definitely get ad-free version of it, because just watching it on my regular account,
No,
it's
limited
so
ads. I
annoying,
had
bro.
two things. They did.
It's so
I did
annoying.
the no. I did the limited ads,
Oh,
and it
limited
broke it.
ads?
Yeah, no, limited ads.
Limited? Oh,
So
okay.
it's there's a $4.99 one for limited ads, and
Oh, okay.
it did 4 ads throughout the whole show, and it was 2 blocks of 2 ads. So, and it was one was at the beginning, one was at the end. You barely noticed it.
Because when I did
Barely.
my watch party in the Discord, so a bunch of our friends could watch it, I got so many ads in like one spot. Like they would have a scene, another ad for like 79 seconds.
Oh,
And I'm
jeez.
just like, oh, like they could definitely do better with the regular version of that, of Paramount Plus. But like I have kind of other issues with the app overall, just kind of stuff like that with their content, I would say, because some stuff
Thank you, Shri.
doesn't make sense. But yeah, I think Halo, obviously it's their moneymaker because they're promoting it everywhere, and it's like
Yeah.
their hot ticket item, which it definitely is. I
It's
would
definitely a huge
give them that.
IP for them, and it's gonna be nuts. It's gonna be, it's gonna. I hope they take this show, and I hope they run with it. I really do.
Yeah, I definitely would love for them to continue the series past one season, but you just got to keep the numbers up, because I don't know if they get kind of like Cowboy Bebop, this kind of example I'm rolling with, the way like it was received, they'll cancel after one
Oh
season.
God, you think so?
So I'm like,
Oh
I
no, that
hope
would be terrible.
that
That would
would,
be terrible.
yeah. Is this
Welcome,
TW?
TW, to everything and anything.
Well, hello.
It's good to be here. It is good to
Um,
be here.
you
Repping
changed.
the
You
flag.
just you're running with the flag this time, huh?
Yes, because I wanted to say a quick thing. Congratulations to the Canadian men's national soccer team qualifying for the World Cup for the first time since 1986.
Woo! Congratulations, Canada. Congrats, Canada. I'm very happy for you.
Oh yeah.
You pushed aside your differences, and you gritted your teeth, and you made it happen. Godspeed. Godspeed. Speaking of ridiculous stories, I have one for you coming up next. So, oh God, literally. So, okay, I don't mean to play puns here or anything, but we're just gonna go into the arching topic. So, a Malaysian flight was diverted when a passenger said and saw that there was snakes on their plane. Can nobody appreciate this at all? There was literally snakes on this plane. Could you imagine
Oh, that was like
being
someone pulling a
no.
prank. No, it's
Could
actually
you
legit. There were
could
snakes on
you
the
Oh, yeah.
imagine
No,
being on a
bro.
plane? All right, look at this. So domestic flight in Malaysia. Actually, we can watch. I wonder if this is in English.
Menurut video-video yang
No, it is
dikongsikan
not.
orang awam.
So whatever. They were up in the air. I read the whole story. They were up in the air,
Just a tiny little
and
thing.
they were up in the air, and this gentleman passenger noticed that there was a snake on the plane. Imagine that. Imagine being whatever, sky high. How high do planes fly? Does anyone
1,400
know?
feet, maybe. I don't know.
Enough.
Does anyone
That's
know?
just the first number that came in my head.
Don't know,
25,000 feet?
Yeah, let's see.
25,000 miles high?
Oh,
No, that makes no sense.
actually.
I don't know. But imagine being that high and being stuck in a plane with a goddamn snake,
right,
and
right
you think
here.
you're in a terrible early 2000s comedy movie. Where
Terrible or amazing?
well, come on, dude, that movie
Commercial
was god
aircraft typically
awful.
fly between 31,000 and 38,000 feet.
Oh, there was a video on TikTok about it. I wonder
Oh,
if a video posted to TikTok purports to show the snake slithering through a light fixture in the overhead compartment of the plane. Bro, tell me you wouldn't literally like freak out if a snake was
I would
literally
shit myself,
crawling
dude.
through the
No.
I would
lights
shit.
No, it
on
depends
your
on what the
plane.
snake is, because the snake looks kind of almost cute. Like it looks small. Like I was thinking, like the crazy anacondas that they have.
Well,
I hate-
for all intents
I
and
hate snakes,
purposes,
dude.
in my
But
head,
those are how- yeah.
in my head, I'm envisioning like a huge python, but in reality, it was probably just a garden snake.
Oh,
But
if you watch
but-
that video, the Malaysian video up at the top, they actually show video of the snake.
well, regardless, I don't want to
I'm saying it's
spoil
a
the
little
fun
thing.
from my mind, because in my head, I'm still going to envision an anaconda in the plane.
Wow.
So imagine a
Someone
snake was
had
just
Samuel L. Jackson.
flooring. Yeah, imagine Samuel L. Jackson was on that plane. Like,
He would have saved them all.
yeah. So snakes, there were
They would have
literally
called the
snakes.
Snake Avengers.
So,
I thought I had it with these snakes on this plane.
Malaysian Airlines had snakes on their plane. That's the most ridiculous. That's a warm up story. That was just a warm up
entertainment on a whole new level.
Yeah. So I mean, and it had a pop culture reference to it. So I really enjoyed that one. See, these are the things I look up at night. These are the things I want to see on the internet. I don't want to see, the new trend on TikTok. I want to see funny stories. I want to see cobras on planes. Thank you, Shri. I was looking for another big snake to use as a name example.
Go Joe.
Yeah. No one got that.
No, I think my brain just did not compute with that.
Oh,
No.
no.
Go Joe, Cobra.
I think that's what Shri was referencing. It's a cobra.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Right. So for my next story, and we are going to get a little bit real because this everything and anything, it cuts both ways, right? So we have some lighthearted stuff, but we also have some stuff that's
gonna make you depressed.
Not depressed, but like legitimate reality. Like there's like a war going on right now, which I would like to talk about a little bit. But this is my favorite story of all time, like literally all time. So this dog,
it's not just great; it's fabulous.
Fezco, the dog, was ditched at a shelter because because the owners thought the dog was gay. I couldn't even believe it when I saw this headline.
I'm guessing these folks didn't watch Legally Blonde too.
I literally started dying laughing. And you know what? I honestly felt bad for the dog, but guess what? Jokes on the owners. The dog was adopted like within 3 days.
Also, Shri, real quick, Ty did get the joke.
What?
No, about the Cobra thing.
I got the joke.
Jim and Ty need to turn in their nerd cards. I'm like, well, Ty got the joke.
I read it, and I read it like that, but I'm like, kind of just like,
go Joe.
I just like, go Joe. What the hell is that? And I'm like,
so how does one come to the conclusion
that your dog
their dog is gay?
Bro,
'Cause
that's like
my
massive
dog-
homophobia right there. If you think if you
Yeah,
if
that's-
your
it's
dog
terrible.
is gay,
Tell me that's not some huge, the biggest homophobic thing. Like, what was that
like,
conversation
that's
like?
so
Because
crazy,
in order
bro.
for there to be a story, here, these owners of the dog who came to the conclusion that this dog was gay had to have went into the shelter and explained. Because if they just left the dog there, like on the front step, like tied to the door, they would no one would know why. There's just a dog here, we rescue it. But imagine that conversation. You're on the other side of the table. They bring the dog in. You're like, all right, what's the reason that you're giving up possession of the dog? Like, why are you releasing ownership? Because he's gay. Like, what would you say? Like, would you literally would you be like,
I would look at my watch and be like, okay, is this a April
well,
Fool's
clearly
joke?
they're
It's-
unfit to have a dog if they think their dog's gay in the first place.
I mean, like, how does one figure this shit out? Because
But
I'm like,
literally imagine that conversation. You want they
bad
pick
April
this
Fool's
dog up, they
joke.
bring it into the shelter, they sit down and they're like, yeah, my dog's gay. I can't have this shit. I get this out of my house. We don't do gay here.
Dude,
What? What? My dog does gay stuff all the time. Like when we're at the park, like he'll play with other dogs. He'll, like they do things like that. It's not gay. Like gay, that's a derogatory
Sniff each
term.
other's assholes.
Yeah. Like dogs are like they
It's a
don't
politics
do.
joke there
They're
somewhere.
not like us, right? They're not like us. They have a different energy. They do different things. They smell each other's butts to figure out who each other are. It's like our handshake, right? So like, who I just this was the weirdest. But Fesco was adopted.
Good.
So
Good.
Fesco did
Did
get
you
a
say
new
rename?
home and a new name.
You
So
should
the
be-
North Carolina dog. So the North Carolina dog who was dumped at a shelter by his owners because he humped another male dog and the owners feared he was gay has been adopted.
No.
The
How
Stanley
dare
County
Yes,
Animal
sure.
Protective Services in Albemarle posted on Facebook Tuesday that Fesco had found new humans to love him for who he is, gay or straight.
Is he the mascot for
Congratulations,
LGBTQ plus? Is he gonna be the new dog mascot?
Yeah, so he is the new
The way you
should.
described
face.
that
Like
sounds-
just
the
like
way you
straight
described
up
that
just
made it
say
sound like
F
a new
you and
streaming
make him the
service.
mascot.
Describe
He's-
LGBTQ plus.
Yeah, he is the new face of the LGBTQ plus community.
No, the way
So-
you said that, talking about it being a mascot and everything, that's the way it sounded like, and then putting the space between the acronym and plus.
It's a long phrase.
You want to know what the ironic thing about this whole story is?
What?
Guess who adopted him?
Right there.
A gay couple.
Oh my god! I was gonna make a joke, but it's actually true.
A gay
Holy
couple
shit.
adopted
I
this
knew
dog.
it.
And
Oh,
I love
I didn't
I love
need to
the
read
next
the article.
paragraph after.
Pelvic gyrations and all. I used it from the article.
See,
Yep.
I was gonna make a joke.
Good
that was
people,
gonna be the second
but
part
this
to my
renews
joke.
my faith in humanity. You know what I mean?
And they
it renews
renamed
my
him.
faith in humanity.
No,
And actually, I don't know if you guys know about this right now, but it is so hard to adopt an animal right now. Like
I can imagine.
since the pandemic started, and that's a good thing. Like, you know what I mean?
You have to make sure that the animals are
it's a
going to
good
the right
thing.
homes, right?
It's a good thing and a bad thing though, because we have owners like this, right?
And and if you read further in that article, like it mentioned there, they said that not only were they bigoted, they were bad parents. He hadn't been neutered, and he had heartworms when they brought him back.
Oh,
They joke,
dude,
you joke, Shree, but they renamed him Oscar after Oscar Wilde. It's in the article. It's a couple paragraphs down.
Who the hell?
Oh,
is that?
geez, I didn't.
Oscar
I actually
Wilde is a
didn't
very
get to that
famous
part.
Irish poet who also very famously was also gay.
Yeah. So that's great though. Like and I remember and that's
I
the
can't
thing.
believe it.
That's the thing about
can't believe
the rescue game is you want to give a
Like
home
an
to
Onion
all.
article.
Huh?
It's like an Onion article.
Right. There's so many
Honestly,
layers. Yeah. But the thing with rescues is, like, as a rescue, you want to get rid of all the animals, right? You want to give them all a home. That's your goal.
Mhm.
But do you sacrifice like your standards? Like, will you give a cat to someone who maybe shouldn't have a cat? Like, clearly, like, just by, you
I
know,
mean, that's probably like one of their obligations as like
rescues, right?
workers, and yeah, that
I
they
mean,
make sure that they.
With Logan, they made me enroll him in um some, like, one of the conditions of rescue was that I had to enroll him in like a
Obedience course.
training class, like some sort of training class, obedience class. That's what it was. And we did the class. It was one day. It was fun. He met other dogs. Had a good time. And he was this big, and it was cute, and I loved it. And like I don't know. A huge shout out to all the people that rescue animals. Guys,
Yeah.
don't shop, adopt,
And
please,
I got,
because there are so
well,
many
in fact,
animals in need.
I'm dog sitting, and matter of fact, the dog I'm dog sitting is a rescue.
Yeah, it's I don't look down on people who shop,
No, of
but
course.
but honestly, if I had it my way, you wouldn't be able to shop dogs. Like, you would, like, there'd be some other program where like they would be, I don't know how I would do it. It's obviously very complicated. Like, there has to be reproductive cycle, but breeding them and all that should be regulated. I hope it is. I don't know a lot about that whole thing. But I mean, they like create new species of dog all the time, like new kinds of dogs. Logan is a lab and a beagle. Like, how do
Yeah,
those
new
two ever?
breeds.
Huh? Those two breeds
Yeah,
should not mix. Logan is a
Put that
is a
in.
very great outcome because he's like a mini lab. Like, he's like
Yeah.
Logan's like a lab if you shrunk him down with like the Honey I Shrunk the Kids thing, and he
Yeah.
just permanently was a small looking.
It's like corgis when you crossbreed them with any large
Any
breed
I
dog.
saw two
They
court
look like
me.
they look like a corgi with the other dog, like if you ever, obviously, like, Jimbo plays COD. It's like if you put like a husky skin on a corgi. Like, that's what it looks like. You just like
Yeah.
cycle through German Shepherd
Yeah, there's
Lab.
some beautiful dogs in my
It's
honestly, there's some
adorable.
beautiful dogs in my neighborhood.
But yeah,
There's
and
like 3 or 4 huskies. They all
like
have
when it comes to shopping, I have a dear friend, and they've had three Goldens. Two are sadly gone now, but like they've had them for 10 years. They're lovely
right.
dogs, but they shop. And then I
Yeah.
had other friends who've rescued. And I think more than anything else, it's making
I'm gonna
sure that,
grab a water. You can
yeah,
keep
all
talking.
good. I think more than anything else that I saw was it's about the welfare of the animals. I think is really is paramount for interesting
like
coincidence. It
Paramount,
is paramount.
Paramount Plus. I got it.
Yeah,
Yeah, high
yeah.
high quality right there.
Yes. Also, hi Rhea. Hello. Good to see you, Rhea.
Raya.
But
I don't know what that
yeah,
was.
but this is definitely, I agree. This is one of the strangest stories I have ever
Yeah,
heard, because
this is
it doesn't
bad.
seem real. Like I said, it seems like an Onion article. Like, you're just like a headline,
True.
and you're scrolling through
Okay,
Twitter, and you're
just a
just like,
joke.
they turned the dogs back because it's gay. Oh, yeah, okay.
No, but like it's true. Dude, that's weird. I just want to know, like, they need. I want to know what their IQ is after this, or just like, because I mean, you turn a dog back because it humps another dog. Like, bro, what is your IQ, please? Turn.
Honestly, you should have to take a test to adopt a dog. Just like I think you should have to take a test to adopt a child. Honestly, I think you should
Oh,
have to
Yeah,
take, if you're gonna
like
adopt a kid, you need to take a test
if
and be
you're
able to
adopting through the
pass
state, if you're
general.
adopting
if
through
But
the
it's a
state,
test.
I think
But
you
it's not
should.
a test like 1+1 is 2. It's like a personality. Like,
Exactly,
what would
like
you
an
do in
interview.
this kind of situation? Shit,
You're
you know what I'm
presented
saying?
with your scenario of your child doing something terrible
Yeah,
at school. What do
it's
you
more
do
like
in
an
this scenario?
R&V question than a math final.
like, are you
Yeah,
properly mentally able to handle a
Yeah.
child in different situations? Which,
Like,
honest,
do you know that this kid's gonna cry and like pee himself? Do you
yeah,
understand that? Like the dog, same thing. Like, dude, I've I I was with my mother when my brother was born, right? My
Yeah.
youngest brother, right? I know what having a newborn's like, right? The dog is Logan was harder. Like my mom even said it when she was alive, that Logan was probably harder to raise as a baby than my little brother Kevin. My little
And I,
brother Kevin was very like self sufficient from just right out of the womb. He was pretty self. He didn't cry. Like he was a very good baby,
yeah.
um, but Logan had trouble with like he would pee on the bed. Like when me and my ex were sleeping in the bed, Logan would pee in the middle of the bed.
Yeah.
And I had to have like covers over the bed. We'd have pads like under the sheets so
Mhm.
that like we came up with this idea, like those puppy pads.
Yeah.
We put them
Yeah.
under the sheets. And it was like we had to do this. It was like, and I was training them hard. Like I go like when I train a dog, I train the dog.
Yeah.
Like
And you know what it's like though? I think is a good way to put it. Like, is obviously there's that old adage which I think is incorrect. I mean, how it prepares you for having kids. It's like, no, no, no. The kids will eventually grow up. They will eventually become self-sufficient in some capacity. Basically, when you own a dog, it's like owning a toddler from the day
24-hour
you bring it from the
day
day you
day
bring it
thing.
home till the
Yeah.
day it leaves you.
Yeah.
It's like having a toddler.
Yeah, he's literally right here. Like
Yeah.
he's one of those dogs who like he's by my side. If I'm home, he's by my side. He's not nowhere
Yeah.
else.
And
Like
I can
I
live.
can't get
Yeah.
him off me. Like God forbid. Like even if I wanted to jerk off, I have to go in the other room. Like
It's
it's that.
Sunday time. Come
You
on.
know what I mean? So
Sunday fun day, am I right,
yeah,
boys?
so hey, everything and
Okay.
anything, guys, everything and anything. I literally, I don't give. I don't know if anyone noticed, but
I was wondering where
so
that thumping sound was.
Jack left the show. Austin left the show. I don't know where Caden is.
You
Meta's
kind of need to
taking a
pick up.
step
You kind of
back.
need to pick
He's
up.
getting
Pick up
Francoed
the
right now.
Yeah, Meta's taking a step back. I literally do not give a fuck anymore.
You kind of need to. You kind of need to what's the word I'm looking for? Pick up the slack.
Yeah, so I don't give a shit anymore.
Jack took all the crazy with him, so
Yeah. So I'm just doing everything that I want now. Anything that I ever wanted to do, I'm just doing it. So that's another thing. Content is going to be more sporadic than scheduled. For
mhm,
because it is only me. We I edited. So me and Meta put together a video last night. And debuted it today about his circumstances. So
yeah,
he's stepping back for other reasons. He'll be back, but for the time being, it's just me at the Pop Culture Corner. And
yeah.
I work 50 hours a week, so content is sporadic, but I really appreciate the support. Super chats or becoming a member, all that stuff's going to help me. Like I just spent $700-800 renovating the studio and it's still not done. Like I have the lighting grid up now, but the camera
It also
is going to be
doesn't help the stuff that you've had go on in the
huh.
last month. It doesn't help the stuff that you've had go on in the last month and a half either.
Yeah, I've had some pretty terrible luck. Really
Yeah,
terrible luck in the past. Like ever since 2022 started, it's just been a mountain of like, it's been a roller coaster, honestly.
but I'm glad, especially everything that's happened, especially considering what happened yesterday. I'm glad you're okay.
Oh my God, that's a story to talk about. So check this out. So I was on the subway, right? So Boston, I know, anyone who's from the South may not understand this, but East Coast, a lot of the major cities have subway. I know you guys know what subways are, but so I was on one of the lines, the green line, and I was one station away, and the stations are close to each other. Like they're not
Yeah,
like
like
super far. It's
I
a
used to live in
subway.
Toronto. I used to live in Toronto, so like I knew the TTC pretty well. So well near
Yeah,
Toronto, so I knew the TTC pretty well.
yeah.
So I know exactly what you mean. Like
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a subway. It's not a commuter rail. Commuter rails are meant for long distance. Subways are small. So like I was within half a mile of what happened. So I'm on a train, and all of a sudden the lights just go out, and like the train's packed. It's 5 o'clock on a fucking Friday. Or what was it? A Saturday? Saturday.
yeah, it was a Saturday.
It was a
Yes.
Saturday, and there was a Bruins game. So
Oh.
The Green Line was packed, and I'm telling you, to the brink, right?
Like, 'cause everyone's going to the garden, right?
Everyone's going to the garden. Like the Green Line's very accessible. And I just on a whims went to the Green Line. I usually would take the Orange Line because the Orange Line
Okay.
brings me right to Somerville. But now the Green Line comes into Somerville. They just put a stop in. It actually raised the property value of my house because now I'm within walking distance of all 3 major T stops.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, so that's cool. But yeah, so I was under. So all the lights go out. I'm stuck on a train that has no lights. Everyone starts using their cell phones for 15 minutes. The train then literally gets pulled into the next station. So they brought some object out and hooked it to the train and then towed us into the next station. We all got off. They walked us single file through this back door. We came up and there was a crane that had fallen in a construction site. A crane had fallen. Everything happened so quick. I didn't even get a chance to like take a picture. I wanted to like document it, but everything
Because I
happened
know you're pretty
so
good with
fucking.
that. Like, you had like a local fire and things like
Yeah,
that.
but it was like
That's
it was like fight or flight kind of
exactly.
moment in my heart. So like there was I think she was like 21-year-old girl who was freaking out, and like I was assisting her. Like you know what I mean? Like she couldn't see. We didn't. Everything was
Yeah.
blacked out. So like she's not my girlfriend, but I had her hand, and we're walking through like the back doors. We finally get outside, and we see a crane that just fell, like and then broke ground into like the subway area. So the crane
Yeah.
fell through and like crumbled a part of the subway. So
Oh,
if we
jeez.
had if the train didn't get alerted to stop, we would have went right into like a
There
rubble.
would be no more you.
Yeah, exactly.
Theoretically.
So like I don't know. The girl gave me her phone number and like like no,
Ooh.
hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
Oh,
Cuz I'm not single. She gave me her phone number because like that we had a bond situation.
just to
Like
be able to talk through the thing.
yeah, yeah. And that was a while. Then I was on a shuttle bus, and like that's when I finally took the picture and put the article next to it,
Mhm.
and was like, dude, I just went. I was literally just there. I got out at 5 o'clock. I didn't get home till 7. It's a 28-minute trip.
Wow.
I think it was 2 hours that night.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was wild. It was definitely a wild. And then I got on the Orange Line, right? Because they shuttled us to North Station, which is the garden. It's the train part of it is called North Station. The garden is North Station though. For just think about it that way. So we got there, and that's where there's a connection to the Orange Line. And I got on
Mhm.
the Orange Line. We're on the Orange Line, and the lights go off in the Orange Line train. I was like, I'm gonna die today, but it was just a flicker.
Good.
But the lights literally went off on the Orange
Oh,
Line
no,
for like a minute, and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna die.
not again.
I was like, I'm having like I'm going to die today. I'm so scared. But yeah, no, it was definitely a hair raising situation, and I definitely could have used some Spidey powers, that day.
Yeah.
Damn.
Guys, there's a war going on right now in Ukraine, and I think any of us, pop culture, um, sorry, pop culture, politics, science, whatever you do, technology, fashion, doesn't matter what you do. This affects all of us. And usually these conflicts like these are the ones that result in larger conflict. It's almost inevitable. So things are dark right in Ukraine right now. And you know, I feel for the people of that area. I don't know too much. I know that it's like a constant bombardment by Russian like airstrike and ground assaults and shit. But I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Not even Canada. Um, you know, it's just terrible.
You're lucky TW's not here. You might.
Oh, did he not hear that joke?
No, he said BRB.
God damn it! No, but really, like, I feel
he's
for the
back.
people. Is he back?
I think I heard Russell. I think I heard.
All right.
Russell.
So what I said was, with what's happening in Ukraine, like, I wouldn't wish that upon my worst enemy, not even Canada. But
That's all right. We burned the White House once. We can do it again.
But the Ukrainian people are resilient. I'll give them that, like Shree said. But so, guys, do you know what's going on? Do you know, like, are you paying attention?
Yeah, my grandma's neighbor is from Ukraine, and she's been telling us all the info. And actually, her father was kind of had to stay back while the rest of her family had to go off and kind of basically flee, but he stayed back to fight, and he's a 6-year-old man. But he survived a bombing. Basically, like his building that he was at, I think I heard this correctly, that it was bombed, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm done." So he went back to back to his family because, like, yeah, I got bombed. I'm good, and it's just maddening how, like, the hospital
It's
getting blown
crazy
up.
right now.
Like, it's
Yeah.
actually like there's like no this man. Man, so many war crimes, and it's just
Putin is just proving to be that like evil figure. You know what I mean? Like, he's just proving to everyone how evil he really is.
And how much he doesn't care. And plus, he's lying to his own people about the whole situation and saying it's like he's taking out fascists and shit. It's like, dude, what are you saying?
Yeah, apparently there's I won't call it a conspiracy theory because there might be some evidence to support the claim, but not in the way that Russia's using it. That I guess there is sort of the term that would be used in the West would be alt-right esque party that exists in Ukrainian parliament, and they're trying to I'm not justifying. I'm saying this is what Russia's logic is. So as far as one of the reasons for wanting to invade, and I'm like, no, I don't buy it. I mean, clearly there might be some evidence to support it, but not to the way that Russia wants to use it. One thing that Putin wants to do, and I've pretty much kind of thought about this before. I don't usually talk politics on this side of my life, all the McKay stuff, all the pop culture stuff.
This is everything and anything, so we have.
This is everything and anything.
Because obviously, this impacts everything. Because think about gaming; they're stopping releasing titles, and same with Batman. They're stopping, like, production and release of games and services in Russia.
Distribution. They're stopping distribution theatrically. They're stopping, for most films, to the point where Putin is effectively decriminalized piracy.
There was already a shortage on like, there's like raw shortage of like a lot of things. Like my local grocery store hasn't had cream in 2 weeks. Right?
Cream? Really?
Cream in 2 weeks.
Why, did you get it imported or something?
I have no idea. I don't know what they do. I just want cream for my coffee in the morning, and I have to go to CVS or whatever. But they haven't had it in 2 weeks.
Mind you, I live in a country that has supply management, right, with regards to dairy products. So, like, it basically, our government controls and regulates the supply of
dairy.
Dairy, yeah. So,
why?
I don't know. It's an old thing that just never gotten rid of.
I mean,
that's a whole
probably
thing.
Smart to kind of have some regulations on stuff.
Yes,
and then, that bill. Like, I'm sitting here like, bro, of all the things you could be possibly doing to, like, make our country better, you get rid of fucking daylight savings. Oh, dude.
I'm not lying. That was a joke. I will admit, I do kind of wish that, they would get rid of it here. Here we are.
Oh, dude, it's so funny. Like, I'm sitting here like, how many generations have been, like, living through this? Like, why is this such a big deal? It's just like, dude, I mean, it's for farms and stuff too. I mean, that's what it originally was for farmers to work later, I'm pretty sure. But still, it's just like, bruh, of all the things you could possibly do, doing daylight savings is the number one thing you pass right away.
Yeah, it's the whole system's a joke. I mean,
Life
it
is
re-
funny now. It just
you
feels
know
like a
the
giant
thing
joke.
about it is when you're a kid, right? You think adults have it all figured out,
Of
but it's
course,
not. But it's
you
not
don't
until
realize.
you're an adult. And it's not until you're an adult when you realize that not a single person on the earth has it figured out. We're all winging it at every moment, at every pass, at every step. We are
And
just taking
I
it
think if we were
one step
honest
at a
about it,
time.
and I think if we were honest about it, we'd probably be a little bit better off, at least in some capacity. To prepare the kids and not make them think that there's going to be some sort of arbitrary, you flip a switch at a certain age, and I am going to have all of this requisite knowledge, not realizing that you have to live life. You have to go through things, good and bad, to get the experience that you need to figure out what to do in life.
Right.
I
And and
mean,
and so like these so basically, for anyone who doesn't know, Russia believes that Ukraine is its property. And
Of
yeah,
course it is.
they
that's
don't
the
recognize its
that's the
sovereignty.
yeah, it's basically kind of like a Taiwan and China situation.
Basic, yeah, and that's
Well, here's the thing. The
A
in
main,
little
I think the main
concept.
difference is
well, I mean,
In
China
the,
isn't
concept, I
bombing
guess.
Taiwan.
that's yeah, exactly,
They
and that's
just
the
don't
only other.
recognize them as
It's just so
Taiwan.
it's just dumb. But as
Yeah,
far as I think if they should if they want to go, let them go. I really think
Did they show the Batman in Russia?
no,
They
no,
didn't,
no.
right?
that
Because
was
of
the
all
f-
Well,
this?
it was one of
yeah,
I think it was one of the first films
yeah.
to be for the film
But
studio to go.
it
No,
sucks
we're
that
not
we have to
showing
punish
Russia.
the people of Russia for the government.
Especially because when you're performing economic sanctions, or that's directly going to affect things like that, and then also international businesses suspending, not necessarily suspending operations, but temporarily suspending operations to Russia. It's like, well, you have people who are working
They're
for
trying to funnel them out.
MNCs,
They're trying to
yeah,
blockade them
it's
and
just a
back them into a corner where they're in a worse situation so that they feel pressure to give up. And it's a good strategy, the starve your opponent strategy. But it only creates more volatile energy. Like Vladimir Putin's only going to be more pissed if he loses this. And what is that going to lead to?
I don't know. I
Like
don't know. I don't
we
want
as
to know.
Americans know what terrorism, like what festering terrorism does. Festering, like when you allow it, like that stuff to spread, that it only gets worse. He needs to be out of power. Is basically, I think, what the solution would be. If the people of Russia,
I
you
don't
know,
think that. I feel like what like one get him out of office, make him like somehow impeach him, even though it's not exactly how it works over there. But the dude needs to get face some charge like criminal charges and jail time
yeah,
because he's committing war
he's a
crimes.
war criminal.
Basically, he's a leader.
Have they put forth any actual
The hog,
Charges.
the
charges
hog has
against
been
him?
I
the
think they've
hog
just been
has, I
talking about it.
think.
I think they just talked about
I think pretty much once the dust settles, then things will probably either that or they'll try him in absentia or something.
Like, there's no way this guy gets out of it scot free. Because I mean, how many people has he basically killed and lied about, and just he start
He'll never see the inside of a jail because he'll
he'll
This
he'll
is
flee
a
and go into
guy.
hiding and
This is a guy
he'll
who
Edward
wants.
Snowden himself in Russia. You know,
yeah,
There's
yeah.
a guy, like I'm saying, and then this is a guy who wanted basically to sort of who, as a young man, watched Soviet influence crumble and wants to restore,
yes,
restore
that
it to
he
what
wants
he thought
to
was its glory.
restore the
This,
glory of the Soviet Union.
what that means in his case is trying to re-annex, former Soviet territory.
Former
Already
sovereign
already has
territory.
a couple of you know unrecognized breakaway republics and things like that. And we've had this now with Ukraine. God forbid it happens to Poland,
Is Poland another one like that?
Oh God, yeah. Pretty
So
much
Poland
everything,
is also
everything,
Russian or
everything east,
was Soviet territory?
pretty much everything east of Berlin,
Oh
almost everything
man.
east of Berlin that was in Europe was under Soviet control. I think the Baltics
Could Vladimir Putin start World War III with
on
what's
his
going
own,
on?
on his own, no. What it would involve would be
Like a China
NATO
backup?
NATO intervention would get you World War III. Because if
If the
NATO
no-fly zone, that will start it.
What do
That's
you
why
mean?
we've
What do
been
you mean?
so reluctant about it.
Elaborate on that.
who
Because I
Jimbo
mean,
Why
oh,
would a NATO hasn't NATO already interfered?
no, with regards to the actual supply of troops, ammunition, and so forth, which they haven't done yet.
In what capacity?
No, like
They haven't
the
picked up arms against them?
they have well because Ukraine is not part of NATO.
Right. They were trying to be though.
Yes, and they haven't mobilized anything as of yet.
Right. I feel like there should be like
What is this? Hang on.
a quick a quick a quick a back door that Ukraine could enter so they could be in NATO because they were trying and now they're under intense pressure and bombs literally. So I think like kind of like an emergency admission to
And it's
NATO.
the fact that it's
Oh, if it can
civilian.
be done, I don't know.
That's the other thing as far as the bombing that Russia's been doing. Civilian areas has been the ultimate issue because of the fact that that is a violation of the Geneva Convention. It's actually
Yes,
committing a war crime
yes,
by the international definition.
yeah. You're killing innocent people that have. You're not. It's not a war. That's not a war. That's not like even in war there are rules, right? There are some rules, and these are they're not gentlemen agreements, but they were established through those kind of things. Like you don't do these, like it's like a morality clause,
Yeah,
like don't kill innocent children and women and men. There's they didn't do anything to deserve this,
yeah.
right? Like take your issue with the government and the people who signed up to defend it. So I don't know. It's a touchy topic. I know everyone's a little has their opinion on it. Do you think our current president is doing a good job with this effort?
I let Jimbo go. I don't really have a dog in this fight.
I mean, I don't know. I think he's kind of a dumbass overall, just
He's a
from a lot.
puppet. No, he's definitely a puppet. He's
Like
definitely being
he
played.
it just doesn't seem like. To be honest, I don't know.
Doesn't seem like he speaks his own words or does
He
his
just
own things.
He
Yeah,
just
I
seems
know.
so weird. It's just the way he acts. It's like he's reading a fucking note card and stuff like that. And I don't know. I mean, our VP basically just kind of like talked to us, explained the situation on live TV like we're kindergartners, and said like Ukraine's a country. I'm like, oh my lord! Like I
I'm
cannot
kind of
believe. I laughed. I laughed at that.
I'm kind of hungry for corn pops after this conversation. I will say that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just feel like President Biden, you know, but although like the ulterior would be, what if Trump was president right now? Because
It
he
would.
he was boasting how his relationship with Vladimir Putin was like good, right?
I
So
mean, to
what
be
will
fair, they've talked about like this Ukraine invasion for years, but then now it's just now happening. Which I
hey
mean, I get that point, but it's
ensigns?
just kind of like
So if Ukraine joined NATO, you just start a nuclear war. NATO are not the good guys. Sleepy Joe is a disaster. Yes, I agree with the last part. But if NATO, uh, see the thing about nuclear war, and I've thought this for a while. Like nuclear war scares me, but in the same sense, I don't think any human on Earth wants to kill everyone on the planet.
No,
You know what I mean? Like there are things that like Vladimir Putin enjoys, right? Like walks on the beach. I don't know, whatever it is. Foot fetish. He has a foot fetish. I don't know. Like
Was he
he
Dan Snyder or
yeah.
something?
No, no,
He
he's been
really
hanging out
loves
with Rectum.
BVS and he really wants the Snyderverse restored. He doesn't want to end the world. I don't think anyone wants to end the world and start a nuclear war.
Of course not. Well, most. People.
But
I mean,
at
I
the
could just
same
read off
time,
my paper about the effects of the nuclear bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which I mean, it's pretty bad. It's pretty interesting.
It was like nothing left.
Oh, it was it's
what do you
still
mean?
I'll say this, the areas that they did it in didn't really kind of, I mean, I get it. There's still operational bases and there's not enough, but I mean, there's like only a handful of officers left in the areas that they bombed, and majority of it was citizens, and it completely obliterated miles, and the areas surrounding it were completely radiated, and people had lingering
Super
effects, obviously,
deformities.
like cancer.
It's
Cancer.
still a problem.
I mean, I don't really know exactly all the details because obviously it was a year ago, but I just remember reading it and being like, okay, this is actually kind of fucked. Like, why did we do this? I get it, we wanted to end the war, didn't want to do this, but so many civilians died. It was almost a 9-to-1 ratio between civilians and military officers that were there. Because it was one of the, because I think it was Hiroshima was one of the uh, most kind of prominent defense bases there. Like one of their bases were held there, but it was obviously wasn't full, and there's only a handful of soldiers there. But I don't know. I just think nuclear weapons are still probably one of the worst inventions ever created.
Yeah,
Because
it's definitely
it's one that we definitely did not need.
Do you think that nuclear energy like so there's always a silver lining, right? It's like the thing that would destroy us all
Could save us.
could save us all, right?
Yeah, but
Nuclear
we
energy
always find
is
new ways to destroy
yeah.
ourselves. So I just think, like you said, like stories like that.
Twinkies destroy ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Like you eat too many Twinkies, you destroy yourself.
I
right?
just think it just kills me.
But as society, as a collective, nuclear energy, there is a good side to it, right? There's potential for it, but
Yeah.
with everything that's as powerful as that, it's always going to be used by the bad people too,
Yeah.
and
That's
that's what sucks.
I just don't understand why
I'm
we
actually
always.
really excited. Speaking of that whole thing, sorry to cut you off.
No.
Is that new Chris Nolan film,
Crystal, what?
Oppenheimer? I'm really
Oh
looking forward to that.
yeah. That I feel like they should
for
definitely talk
obvious
about.
reasons.
They better talk about the quote his wife made, because I added that in my paper. I remember his wife was basically extremely like, yeah, this is such a bad thing, and it's just as like, I'm gonna try to see if I can find my paper, but honestly I think I'm kind of like, while I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I'm too lazy, I don't know where to look to find that, but I could probably find it. But she was like, yeah, this is really bad, and just seeing the
So your
destruction.
paper was about the American bombings.
Oh yeah,
The
Hiroshima and Nagasaki, because I think still to this day those are like the only live testings that are like nuclear weapons used in war.
yeah,
But
they are, yeah,
which should stay
Dude,
that way for a long time.
it should stay that way forever.
Well, that's yeah.
There should
but
never be another Hiroshima or Nagasaki
100%.
No.
because the next one will be the last one.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because knowing how many nuclear weapons everyone has built now, it's if that cat gets out of the bag, it's
over.
Fallout 4.
It's game over. We're going into we'll be in Mad Max. The survivors of anyone who
What did Einstein say? If the
What?
Third World War is fought with nukes, the fourth will be fought with rocks and sticks.
Exactly, because society will be stripped of
As a paraphrase, but like
Society will be stripped down to its basic
There will
function,
be nothing left.
survival. That's it. It will be in a desolate. Anyone who survives will be in just. Yeah, it's wow. It's a fucking horrible, horrible, horrible image to think about. But it's a reality. If we as people, if we as a society don't get our shit together and don't start acting like adults, like this is childish behavior. These wars like this. This one is so pointless. There's not even like a an agenda that I could be like, okay, I could see why he's doing this. Like, there's no oil or anything that you gain. I don't know.
Here.
Is Ukraine hot for oil or any like gold or anything?
I don't
Does
know.
Ukraine produce anything that is of value
Lithium.
that nowhere else
Lithium.
can do?
They are one of the main suppliers of lithium, I believe.
All right,
No,
so they have
no.
batteries. Okay.
Which yeah, but so speaking of like nuclear weapons, I found my paper and just reading this first. I just have one paragraph that kind of overall sums up kind of the destruction, just like overall severity of why these things are so fucking bad. So basically, I'll just read it real quick. So on August 6th, 1945, the United States changed the way we see war, the way we see the damaging effects of war and the horrors it brings upon those who sit idly by while their countrymen fight. The United States became the first country to use such a weapon and then to use it on a city filled with innocents, such as its first victims of Hiroshima. While there was military presence in Hiroshima and contained a headquarters there, which commanded the defense of all of southern Japan, most of those who lived in Hiroshima were non-combatants. On that day of August 6, 1945, out of a population of 280,000 civilians and 40,000 soldiers, 70,000 died instantly, mostly civilians. 15,000 tons of TNT reduced 4 square miles of Hiroshima to ruins. Days later, another bomb was dropped on Nagasaki and 70,000 more were killed instantly. And yeah,
Yep.
yeah, it's crazy.
Well, I got a video here. It's 2 minutes long. It's a little update from ABC News about old Sleepy Joe addressing it. So we'll take a look at this and then we'll move on topics. You can still talk.
So TW.
Rather interestingly enough, considering this discussion, I did just.
That's why I like pre-recorded because I can cut all those awkward silences out. Like, did anyone watch the? Did you guys watch the channel update for Meta?
Oh no, I didn't know that there was one.
I haven't watched it. I've watched a bit of it, but I was.
Well, you guys know how
I've-
Meta talks. Meta
Yeah.
talks in long, dramatic pauses. I cut all of those dramatic pauses out. So his 7-minute speech sounds like a 7-minute speech. Like,
Oh.
boom, 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 boom. It like never lets up.
And there's no kind of like distractions from me bullying Meta to kind of
Yeah, exactly.
interrupt it.
On me driving him up the wall.
Oh, dude, like, man,
Here we
next
go.
time he comes back, I gotta give him a good old Jimbo.
And in Eastern Europe,
Can you hear
tensions
that?
are rising and rising as
Yep.
the Russian invasion on Ukraine carries on. But support for the Ukrainian people is pouring in from major countries and companies, most recently FedEx. A joint operation by FedEx and nonprofit Direct Relief sent emergency medical supplies and disaster relief to refugees in Poland Saturday. The FedEx plane took off from Memphis with 76 tons of medical and provided by Direct Relief. That aid includes emergency supplies and much needed medicine for the 3 million refugees fleeing Ukraine. And on to updates on the war devastating Eastern Europe. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky emphasizing Ukraine's need for more weapons, especially planes and tanks. He says the West needs to continue to send aid. ABC's Ty Hernandez has more.
As Russia's invasion of Ukraine continues, President Joe Biden with some choice words for Russia's President Vladimir Putin.
He's a butcher.
Those remarks as two Russian
They
missiles
use
rocked the
fucking
western
3
Ukrainian
words.
city of Lviv, hitting a defense facility and an oil depot. ABC's James Longman is there.
This is an oil depot. You can see the flames there burning. This city was meant to be a sanctuary for thousands, and now it feels like the war has come to them.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky continues to stress his country needs more weapons, calling for 1% of NATO's
He's always in a
arsenal.
t-shirt.
Saturday's attacks on Lviv, less than 50 miles from Ukraine's border with Poland. President Biden wrapping up his high-stakes trip on Saturday, visiting Poland's capital, Warsaw, and sitting down for his first meeting with Ukrainian officials since the Russian invasion began. He also reassured Poland's leaders, saying the U.S. has an obligation under NATO rules to defend its allies.
A sacred commitment that relates to every member of NATO.
The president spent part of the day meeting with Ukrainian refugees before addressing a large crowd and issuing a warning to Putin.
Don't even think about moving on 1 single inch of NATO territory.
Then saying this.
For God's sake, this man cannot remain in power.
The White House later tried to clarify those remarks, saying the president was not calling for a regime change in Russia.
God.
Ty Hernandez,
was
ABC
a-
News, New
That
York.
was a bad choice of words.
Oh, I watched some of it while it was live, and he just starts screaming and just is so loud and just says the
He's
dumbest
going
shit.
to not be
I
in
just
power. It's
laughed.
like, what? Yeah, not exactly a good idea for a guy with a sizable army at his command to be saying, that's
Yeah,
I can see why people are mad.
Yeah, that's pretty. He's a puppet. So
why doesn't
and people
Kamala
thought
say more things?
because they want to hide her in a closet for the things that
Because
she's
she'll
done.
probably laugh during
No,
her whole
because the
speech.
things that she's already done, like that whole I don't know what it was. It was down in the South America, like the thing that she did, the
Oh,
whatever.
what did she do?
After that, her
the
approval,
border thing? Or...
yeah, her approval rating dropped to like the lowest any vice president's ever had. But people still think Trump is the worst president that we've ever had.
And
it's like, honestly,
bruh.
honestly, it's just as bad with Biden right now.
Dude, they're all horrible. Like, why? There's so like
It's
there's so
just
many
as bad as
better.
Biden. It's the only difference is the news goes easier on Biden than they
'Cause
did
it's too-
Trump.
Well, yeah, that.
Look
I
at
mean,
that!
only-
Look the clip we
Fox
just saw.
News is the
Look at the
only
clip-
one that
look-
goes.
no, look at the
easy
clip
on
we
them.
just saw.
Or sorry, Howard.
Look at the clip we just saw. They're like, they say it. They show his remarks, and then they're like, and the White House later clarified. If it was Trump, they would have been like, that was a lie. Look, the White House even had to clarify it later because they know he's an idiot. Like, but things aren't better with Biden, and that's why like this last election, I was like, dude, it's like choosing between breast cancer and testicle cancer.
Now, what was the thing I was gonna say? I forgot now. Oh my goodness. I had a joke. I just can't.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing how Trump would have handled all this. I really don't.
I mean, didn't he say his piece about it?
I don't know.
All I know is I don't want.
Do you think he's gonna run again?
Oh,
Do you
I
think-
mean,
Do you think he's gonna run again?
It's
And-
gonna be a
and
shit show if he does.
He's gonna run
I mean,
again.
He can run again.
they're trying
think-
to.
I think honestly,
trying to
I
make
think
it so he
what's
can.
been happening with the Democrats, right? Like, even the Democrats are looking at Biden and they're like, "Oh my god,"
I just
So
think it's just
maybe
all
this was like
crazy.
a win for Trump, right? 4 years of Trump, and then, oh, now, okay, all right, you didn't want me. This is what you can get. This is what you'll get with them. So now he showed,
I know,
right?
I just-
Like, yeah, he may have lost. He probably obviously wanted to win just win and not have it be like this. But he kind of used this to his advantage, if that's what he's doing. Like he
And
used it to his
then,
advantage, and he was like,
I-
"All right,
and then-
here's what they're gonna give you for 4 years. Just remember, I'm running again, and we can go back."
I just think that they
My
could have done
country's-
better for both. I think that I would actually prefer if like Trump didn't run again and they found someone else that's like more that
Same, bro.
like a different Republican, and then like
Could
if
make sense.
and I would definitely say Biden should definitely not go for re-election because oh god,
He's
have someone else.
like he has early, like, honestly, Joe Biden, I'm sorry, man. I know you'll never see this, but you are unfit for office. You have early onset dementia.
Like I just watch this. I'm like, as a 20-year-old,
There's no way
how the
that-
hell do we allow a leader of our country be so
to
fucking
forget where
old,
he
bro?
is. To literally forget where he is. And then then he'll like say
Mobilize
something that
true
like
international
means
individual
nothing.
pleasure.
What?
Yeah. Also, what was the other thing? We just had my country's first black prime minister visit the European Parliament.
Nice.
Yes, of course, I am speaking about Justin Trudeau.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I'm surprised people don't catch. Are people not familiar with that?
no.
Familiar with that?
What's his
Trudeau a couple of times during his college years was caught doing blackface.
But I was about to
Wait,
say like
doing
is it
what?
the
Doing
blackface
what?
thing?
Yeah, he was caught doing blackface and brownface at Halloween parties a couple of times.
Oh.
Didn't he dress up
And
as
that's
like
a
a
no.
Middle Eastern
That's a
person?
huge no go that nowadays.
That's why there's a running,
They
that's why there's
even
a
took a
running joke.
an episode of Community down because of that.
And it's the worst part is it's one of my favorite episodes because it's the D and D.
It's the original D&D episode, and you can only watch it on YouTube with like shitty quality now.
Or just
It's-
buy a DVD set or Blu-ray set.
No, I don't. Anything published after a certain date won't have it.
So dumb.
Yeah, yeah. So Dungeons and Dragon episode of Community is like if you have the original, maybe like a box set from whatever, like the original release, you probably have it, but anything published after a certain time won't. Because that episode, like you could watch, because Community is one of those weird shows that's it's on Hulu, but it's also on Amazon Prime and it's on Netflix. So, but no matter what platform you go to, that episode it skips an episode, and it goes from episode 2 to 4, and it skips episode 3, and it's like, and you know what I mean. That's when I got curious because I was like, there's a hidden episode that I've never seen. And I found out it was a Dungeons and Dragon episode because the advanced, all the, because I watched Community on streaming, not on while it aired.
Yeah,
so
same here. I got lucky.
So-
I actually because I saw that episode on television, but I also saw it on Netflix
oh, okay.
because I got to watch it before they took it down.
They took it down, yeah.
Right.
But so I watched Community
Little-
afterwards, and Community is like one of my favorite. It's up there with my all-time favorite shows. Because Abed is like, I would love to talk to Danny Pudi. He is so good in that role as Abed. He like I know Joel McHale really like he was amazing as well. Everyone did really great. Donald Glover's great. I forget what Britta's name is, but
Jillian Jacobs.
Jillian Jacobs, yes. Jillian Jacobs, and then Chevy Chase, Ken Jeong. Like the cast is so good, and it's not your average comedy. Like it has like a multiversal of like some of the shit that the Russos made paintball episodes look like actual action adventure movies. Like they hit every genre in that show. It's amazing. It's amazing. Is anyone watching Severance right now on Apple?
I haven't. I don't have Apple TV Plus, so
Do you have an iPhone?
no.
No, because usually a new iPhone or anyone with an iPhone gets like an automatic year of Apple TV Plus. But
that's cool.
damn, if you want to watch it, I'll give you my login.
No. I'm good. I'll probably wind up catching it at some. Like I'll probably wind up.
It's Apple
watching
TV's cheap. Because
I gotta.
but
kind of
Severance is so good, and
things.
the guy from Parks and Rec is in it. He's the main character. He Leslie's love interest.
Adam Scott,
Adams, yeah. So I always forget his name. but dude, the show is out of control. Like, it's so good. It's so good. Uh, eh, honestly, I can't say enough good things about it. Apple TV Plus, by the way, is with the content that they have right now. You know, Ted Lasso, Severance, C, The Morning Show. Um, I'm missing one. Foundation, Invasion. And there's a bunch of other ones. They they're delivering. They're delivering hard. So all those shows I just named are worth watching. They're buys. To if anyone, that's a Community reference, by the way, to Leonard's food reviews in Community. They're a buy.
Oh, and that's what that was. I was trying to think of what
Yeah.
you were talking about. Like, it's the
Let's
Bible.
potato chips.
Yeah.
They're a
Yes.
buy. Frozen pizza, it's a buy. But speaking of buys, that's it for our hour of Sunday everything and anything. Guys, do you have anything? Any final words? Anything? So the Snyderverse community is well, I don't know. They're
It's still there. It's still there.
they're still looking for clues in all the wrong places. And the grifters are still grifting. I'll be doing an episode of
I'm still
combating hate.
complaining about the Batman and it being there and
It
existing.
was cool to see him at the.
existing. But
it was
okay,
cool
actually, you
to
know what?
see him at the
Now that I got you both here, we'll end it on this note. We'll end it on a pop culture note. Barry Keoghan or Keegan, I can't pronounce his
Joker?
name, as the Joker. Is it a buy or is it a pass?
I honestly, I don't think it's enough. I mean, what we got in the film, it's like still like kind of like interesting. But then that 5-minute clip, I think I could see it, and definitely I would say he kind of fits well with kind of Pattinson's Batman in the world that they're creating. But I mean, I need to see him in
kind of
action.
version.
Yeah, I need to see him
Also
in
because
action.
it's a deleted scene, I think there's an opportunity to adjust his costume. I think as a concept,
I already said that they're gonna
Yeah.
retool it a little
like-
bit.
Sure.
what I want out of the next movie for me, especially considering that the way that Reeves has talked about wanting to do a Mr. Freeze movie. I think there's two
I think-
avenues. I think what you can do out of that movie for me is a combination of three things. The 2 episodes of or like basically versions of the episodes of Batman the animated series that featured Mr. Freeze,
Yeah.
and combine that with No Man's Land. I mean, we've already got natural disaster, you got massive disaster, no one's helping, martial law has been instituted, and also the fact, if you'll pardon the Game of Thrones expression, winter is coming because this happened at Halloween. This happened the week of Halloween, so winter is going to be coming. All of that water is probably still going to be floating in Gotham somewhere.
Yeah.
I could imagine
It's not
even
going anywhere, and it's getting
and like
colder.
I had said, what stream was on? I think I was on Java with Jack or something like that, or in the chat
You
where I
traitor. Huh.
sir, I was. We'll discuss it later. Now, I had said no because I had said in the chat like the idea. Well, what if the flood? What if Victor Freeze was working for a private health clinic, and the flood hits and it damages the equipment and somehow directly leads to him getting all icy, like leads to him being exposed to the chemicals that force him to be in sub-zero temperatures at all times.
Oh,
You could do
that can
something
make
like
sense.
that, and plus you've got, like I said, the winter coming around the corner, so there's less of a need to do a full-on ice-powered. Maybe just have it kind of adjust for the city or where he is in the city. Bye, Ty.
So welcome to the pop culture Jimbo or the Black Ops Lounge. I don't know. Welcome. Thank you. So TW. Real quick, while you're explaining that stuff, I totally understand what you're saying about Mr. Freeze. But do you think they'll ever do Clayface or any of those other kind of like supernatural creatures for or villains for
Clayface,
Batman?
I don't know. The one that our mutual acquaintance, Crazy Joe over at Mega Podtastic, has talked about wanting to see in a Batman movie is Man-Bat. And I've always wanted to see Man-Bat, and I think you could do it as opposed to like having him consume a chemical that turns him into
True.
Man-Bat. Maybe like what if it's kind of like a Frankenstein modern sci-fi thing where he's like he's 3D printing the parts, like printing the flesh and the bones and the wings,
Interesting.
and he grafts them to his own body somehow. You know, like it's some sort of strange body dysmorphia aspect. You know, and
Yeah.
like, and I'm not trying to say that as a slight against anyone with body dysmorphia. More than what I'm trying to say is it could be, this is a combination of him wanting to be, maybe be Batman or something along those lines, and seeing that Batman himself is not going far enough to instill the fear. Maybe he is wanting. Maybe he's a nice guy who wound up getting. Maybe it's sort of like a kind of a version of Joker. Like I say, Joker.
Yeah. Yes.
Phoenix's Joker.
He wasn't always that. Oh well. What we? Oh, I thought you were
That's
gonna
what-
go like the Killing Joke, almost that aspect. Like he wasn't always like the Joker. Like he always wasn't
That's what I
that.
mean. That's what I mean. Like he wasn't always bad. It's just the fact that like he made it's the fact that he's kind of in the Joker sense of kind of rebutting against criminality in his own way. Like you have those moments at the beginning of Joker, where he's getting attacked on the street, right, by these dorks, and basically that kind of sort of it's not the direct catalyst. He obviously had a series of severe issues before that, but this could be he's got his own research and something about that.
Sorry about
Okay.
that, guys. My computer glitched and it like kicked me out of everything.
Oh yeah,
That's
we
okay.
started.
We were just kind of walking through, other villains we like to see and things like that. In Batman.
Ooh, I would love in the Batman. We're talking
Mhm.
Yeah, the
in
Batman
the
universe.
I would like to see Poison Ivy. I think
I
there was
think
so many.
Harley.
There was a lot of Long Halloween vibes to this.
Well,
this
yeah,
film.
they took
Might as well
a.
just get the rest
It's
of them.
basically an
Right?
adaptation of it. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
just
so
the
I would like to
directors and
see
the
Poison
story.
Ivy show up in the beginning of episode or the sequel.
I
And
mean,
especially because
yeah.
like there's also room for like you could do part one, part one being like Long Halloween in year one, and to an extent year two, like the comic year two.
That's how
You
you could
could
also introduce Two-Face. You can introduce the Joker.
Yeah, exactly. And you have like, and then for the second movie, assuming for a moment you don't introduce the Robins anywhere, or like you have them in a smaller role, you could have the second movie, like I said, be like a mix of like Heart of Ice and also the revamp because like and also No Man's Land. I mean, and then you could have like the third movie being about Hush getting all the villains together and trying to take out Batman once and for all.
Yeah,
There was already a Hush reference in the Batman.
where how so? Where?
Edward Elliot, the journalist who Thomas Wayne
Oh
paid
yeah. Thomas Elliot.
big giant word
Yeah.
Hush. Well, because Edward Elliot was also an ancestor of Thomas Elliot, who was the character who became Hush in the comics. So there's room for Hush. There's room for other villains.
What about another Harley Quinn? Do you think they'll try or attempt at a Harley
I'd
Quinn?
like to see that, and I'd seen like the rumor mill of.
I just don't think I
Superman.
really don't think DC right now. I think they want Margot as
their
Harley
the
Quinn.
face of the Harley Quinn.
Yeah, as the face of Harley. Yeah.
Which bothers me in the concept of the multiverse. I'm like, come on, guys, you've got.
Yeah, it's almost limiting for Reeves, like
I think
because
Sydney
his
Sweeney would be a
Joker
great
like
job as
can't.
Harley.
His Joker can't have a Harley Quinn. Like I've already established that in my head. Like
You don't think
he
so?
can't. I don't think so. Because
I think you could just have I think as you have a character because
no, I really don't.
Even though the characters are over the top, I think you could actually not in the way that it's been depicted. Like it's not the kind of sort of codependent aspect. You could have it start that way and then kind of have them branch out, you know. But like I could see it working where you have, you know, younger Harleen Quinzel straight out of med school into her residency thinking she can take on the world, and then she thinks, okay, I'll be the one that I can finally get to this guy, get to the Joker, the guy that we will know as the Joker. And then eventually you have basically if you watch the Batman the Animated Series episode Mad Love, if you look at like the conversations that Joker and Harley had while in his cell, effectively, you can see it wasn't immediate. It was always kind of a slow shift to think that
Yeah.
it's this kind of long game, and I think you could do something with it. I just don't know what. Obviously, who was it? Who was talking about Court of Owls? Obviously, Shree talked about wanting to see Court of Owls.
I want the
wanna
Court
see
of Owls. The Court of
Well,
Owls
especially
is what I want.
I don't
Uh,
know. I mean,
because
in
it's
in this
you know
world,
why?
I don't know.
It's because it hasn't been done in live action before.
Oh, I
And I
want to see.
think
Trust me, I want to see the Court of Owls.
and it would be so awesome because they are so they're so good. Like because it's such a mystery, and if we're going for that detective noir kind of story
I can see that,
line,
yeah, especially if you want to
the
go.
Court of Owls would be the best. But there's a lack of Joker, and I don't know how they would. I don't know.
I could probably see them paring down. Well, because it kind of depends like what direction you want to go, right? Because I could see aspects of like Dark Victory getting worked into the second movie. Because if the first one's Long Halloween, you could have the second one being Dark Victory. Just something to introduce. Because I know Pattinson has talked about wanting to introduce a Robin. So I'm not. So I think that'd be an interesting.
But this quick, year 5, Batman has a Robin.
Taking the consideration in the comic books, in the post crisis timeline, year 1 was year 1, year 2 was year 2, Long Halloween was year 3, Dark Victory was year 4. Within 2 years, within basically
Okay.
4 years of
Yeah.
Batman being Batman,
Okay.
he had Robin around. And also think about the fact that he has to have a sizable amount of time around, right?
Yeah.
Because this is, I mean, especially if you want to like,
'Cause,
obviously not in this world, but like also consider if you wanted to do like the full extended Bat family, right? Consider how many characters you'd have to introduce and the way that the
Imagine-
timelines would have to work up, right?
Have you seen Titans?
I have not, but
Okay.
I'm familiar with
So
it.
the kid that is in the gang in the Batman?
Yeah, that's
Tim Drake.
Tim Drake and Titans.
Tim Drake and Titans. Imagine if they did like a multiversal thing where that night is what inspires him to fall in love with the Batman, and he is Tim Drake, and they did like a multiversal, like just to show us that it would connect, like that he just has a different origin. You know what I mean? He has a different path to becoming obsessed with the Batman and all that, and that's how he stumbles across it. I don't know. I think that'd be kind of cool.
And they got the Oscars red carpet thing here. I'm literally only watching the Oscars just to see if Dune wins best.
Yeah. So is that tonight?
Yeah, it's tonight.
The
red carpet
tonight?
The red carpets are going on right now.
Yeah, Dune actually won an Oscar
Whoa!
for Best Sound.
All right, so usually we're only going to go an hour with everything and anything, but I did not know that. I forgot that the Oscars are tonight. I thought it.
If you need to set up for your interview, then don't worry about it.
For what interview?
Was that tonight or was that last night? Chad Michael.
Chad had to cancel.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I don't know.
Yeah, Black Ops and I are working with him to find a new date that works.
Sorry.
We're going to be
part of that
promoting.
too, Jimbo?
What?
Jimbo's going to be part of that too?
Yeah.
How fitting.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I asked him to do it.
That's really cool, man.
So he, Jimbo would focus on the Call of Duty side of
gaming
him.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I would fall on the because he's also promoting a film.
It's called Assassin. Is it called Assassin?
Assailant,
yeah,
I think.
Assailant.
Yes. Thank you. Apologies.
He has like 3 movies and a short in post production already.
That's good. That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's including Assailant. So
and also
he's been out. He obviously he's been doing a lot, and things just didn't work out for this today, but he'll be back very shortly.
Yeah.
Yeah, just we're figuring things out, best
100%.
date that works, and yeah.
That is all good.
But yeah, so no harm, no foul. I have a couple other guests that are lined up, and we'll drop them down. So I have a lot planned. But tonight at the Oscars, guys, I need Will Smith to win an Oscar, and he's up for Best Picture. I mean,
Did
best
he not, did
best
he not
actor.
win for Pursuit of Happiness?
No, he's never won an Oscar. You know how Leo got his first?
Yeah, it's kind of
It's
like Will's.
it's
Will's
Will Smith's time to get his first, and he's up for Best Actor for King Richard, and we need like that. Not only does the Academy need this, but Will Smith needs this, and he deserves it. He dialed it in for that role,
And you know what
and
else I think is important? Like the one thing that really kind of pisses me off about the Oscars, forgive me, is the fact that uh, they took out a bunch of like there's like what 6 normally televised Oscar categories that are going to be presented in a pre-telecast, which bothers
yeah,
me.
yeah.
Like it's like sound editing and sound mixing and stuff like that. Especially as a guy who, you
Well,
know,
this year they're
lifelong. It's like
doing
especially as a guy who's a lifelong Star Wars fan and like how important those things were, especially at the start. Literally, Ben Burtt, the original sound designer for A New Hope, they didn't really have the categories. Like they literally gave him a special. I think they had sound editing and sound mixing, but they literally gave him a special award for creating the droid sounds. And like it just blows my mind that that was the one thing to the point where I think it was the sitting president of the academy resigned because he was so
damn.
upset. I'm not sure if he was the sitting. I'm not sure if he was the sitting president, but I know it was definitely a person within the academy who resigned from their position because of the fact that these are being pre-telecast as opposed to being televised. And
Yeah,
again, I know that the Oscars are very
I
much
think
kind
they're
of loosely
doing
reported and it is a little self-congratulatory, but I think especially for a lot of people, it
well.
is kind
They're
of nice it's nice to kind of get the recognition, especially for, like I said, for me and as a science fiction and fantasy fan. Like I don't think there's outside of like the past couple of years have been nice. We've had Fury Road was nominated, Arrival was nominated, I think Blade Runner 2049 was nominated,
it was
and so seeing Dune finally get
Dune
Dune
is
getting
gonna
a
be up
nomination
there.
makes me very, very happy. Even if it
Yep.
doesn't
It
win, I think
won.
Coda will
Not
probably.
for spoiler, but it won Best Sound. I just got an alert.
Yeah. So
Attaboy. Which is, by the way, I honestly think that Dune should win Best Original Score because it is. If you guys have never seen Dune, it is one of, to me at least, it is one of the most amazing things. Like that
Dune
movie,
was one of the best movies of the year.
that movie, I almost moved me to tears, and not necessarily because of the narrative. And I say that not as an insult, but as a bit of a context. Like I said, I'm a lifelong Star Wars fan. And there are 3 things that greatly inspired the creation of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Flash Gordon, Dune, and the
Dune.
works of Akira Kurosawa.
Yep.
And Dune, especially after getting what was in effect a camp film from Lynch in '82, to get this that was taken very seriously, it was played straight. It's dealing with the higher concepts. Obviously, the fact that they're nice enough to actually split the thing into two movies, I think was the correct decision.
They're planning like I think the
They're
rumor that I
doing
had heard was like five at a max or four is the ideal. Five is
Villeneuve wants to do 3 for sure because
Yeah.
that will adapt. Part 1 was Dune. Part 1, like Part 1 was Dune. Part 1.
Yep.
The second movie is going to be the second half of Dune, and the third movie will be the second book, Dune Messiah.
Yep.
And so I'm looking forward to that because like the movie I thought was, regardless, I thought was great. Visually, it is gorgeous. It is like the scope of it is amazing. And when I say the influence is felt in Star Wars, there is a reason why Tatooine is a desert planet. Like, and that's because of Arrakis. There is a reason why spice exists as it does in Star Wars.
Yep.
There's and you can go down the list of all.
Yeah,
of
it was kind of funny seeing Spice in Boba Fett.
Define like the fact that they finally came full circle in reference to, and I was like,
Yeah,
yes,
and it was right around the time Dune came out, so
it
like
was
it was
so
all
great.
fresh in my head, and like the resemblance was just so there. But yeah, so for everyone, yeah, I mean, guys, do you think these shows, these Oscars and the Grammys or whatever, do you think? I mean, they're marketing the Oscars hard this year. I don't know.
I have a
They're
great issue.
marketing, dude.
I have
They're
a great
marketing it
issue with
like
that.
they're marketing it like it's the Super Bowl.
My issue, well, we're going to break that down. My main issue of them of the Academy marketing it like that is, in my opinion, my severe issue is the
One
fact that
sec, Black
yeah,
Ops. Thank you for joining, man. We're wrapping up soon in like the next couple minutes anyway. But thank you so much for joining.
Yeah.
Black Ops will be back next time. Well, hopefully sooner than this. But Black Ops and I will be interviewing Call of Duty. Known for Call of Duty. He's also known for being in the Sniper series, and now he's promoting his new film, Assailant. Chad Michael Collins. He's also a Twitch streamer. So, we'll be doing that interview as soon as possible. Black Ops, where can they find you?
Well, you can find me at YouTube at Black Ops JMB01 and Twitch and Twitter at Black Ops JB.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Yep. See you guys.
All right.
But yeah, what was the last thing I was saying? Goodness gracious.
Oh yeah, watching Dune on the TV is not even close to seeing the theatrical version.
I saw
visually.
Dune in IMAX.
What?
Oh my god! I saw Dune in IMAX, and it was one of the most amazing experiences I've
No,
ever.
man, I did. Dune was the movie I did the comparison for. Dolby Cinema was the best way to watch it.
I just don't have anything with Dolby that was near me, like so
Oh
that
no.
because I was in Toronto, but like I was actually in like Mississauga where I grew up, and so I went to see Dune with my uncle, and the only thing that they had was IMAX. The Academy. Thank you, Sri. My
Yeah,
issue was the fact that
Dolby has been. I've officially. I did a video a while back about all the different kinds of ways you can see a movie. Digital.
yeah,
And think about this: editors have to edit films for all those types of different versions.
yeah,
So they're
it's
not just editing one movie; they're editing the same movie for different formats. It's crazy.
it's kind of like the same way video game developers do with trying to port these things to different consoles and different console generations and things like
Right,
that. But
right,
yes, to my
right.
point, because Sri reminded me real quick, I'll sum up on this. Was the fact is the problem is the Oscars is now, especially with some of the stuff they've been doing with the interactivity, it feels like they're trying to be the People's Choice Awards. The Oscars should be the Oscars, where it is the industry giving the awards to itself, and the People's Choice Awards should do a lot more marketing in terms of visibility to get itself to something like the Oscars. Because if this is a thing that's supposed to truly be about the people, I think that would be the
Yeah,
best decision, as opposed to trying to do like the best popular film that the Oscars is trying to do. It's like, no, no, no. If I want to know what the most popular movie is, I will look at the People's Choice Award for Best Picture. Barring
right.
obviously there's bots and things like that. You have to correct for, right? But I honestly think that's a better decision, is to try and have a more marketing for the People's Choice Awards.
But they're marketing the Oscars like it's the Super Bowl. I've seen multiple commercials for the Oscars that like they're hyping it up to be like this huge event. I mean, it is a huge event, but like it's not like Super Bowl huge event. You know what I mean?
No, especially
But that's how it felt. That's how the marketing felt, and I was like, all right. So they clearly know that like viewership is on the decline.
yeah, and
They're
also
trying to
consider
do
the fact
something
that,
about it.
and like that was another thing, which is so interesting. The fact that um, is the fact that we're now in March. For the last couple of years, at least last 5 years that I can remember, it was the weekend or like 2 weekends after the Super Bowl. So I'm like, at least you have the kind of, you can have cross marketing, right? I think more than anything else. Bork.
What?
Bork.
Oh,
No, I saw the dog Springfield Comic Con thing.
yeah. I don't know why I clicked them, but
That's okay.
yeah, no. So yeah, you can have and I actually saw the commercials while I was watching this week's episode of Superman and Lois. I always watch it the next day on the CW app,
Yeah.
because I don't have live TV.
Nor do
I
I. Like I'm house sitting, so like this is the first time I've had live TV in like months
I
because
mean,
I
I've
just
had
use
live
just
TV.
streaming.
I usually will do like when YouTube has like a trial period still. So sometimes they do month-long trials, and I'll sign up for a month-long trial of
Yeah.
of YouTube TV. And I love it. It's great. It's just too expensive. And it doesn't make sense. It's like um it cost the $70 for YouTube TV plus all the streaming services. I'm better off just
That's US.
buying a package through Comcast.
And the other thing for me that was like I have to do a bit of shuffling with my streaming services because I had DAZN for a while. DAZN's like it's a sports streaming service up here. I'm going to be changing it out for TSN, which is basically owned by ESPN. It's our Canadian. That's another channel that has sports stuff on it. But the packages are different, and I'd rather get TSN,
The
especially
future should be a la carte, and I
yeah,
feel
and
like that's what
especially now
streaming
because it's like
services.
because I'll have feeds for the NFL, I'll have feeds for AEW because I prefer that to WWE.
Yeah.
I'll have MLS feed because the TSN is the official place for Toronto FC. So like that's if I want to watch Major League Soccer, I have to go there. I get a couple Leafs game, but I have another streaming service for Leafs and Jays games. So
When's the World Cup?
World Cup is not till November.
Oh, that's when
This
all
is
like
this.
the fake soccer fans come out.
Oh,
So
yeah.
so many fake soccer fans come out when the World Cup happens.
I don't
Like
know. I mean,
it's like, dude, no. Maybe not in Canada, but in America, this is what happens.
there's a
When the World Cup comes
yeah.
around, every single person knows about soccer all of a sudden. They're like, "Oh, this guy, yeah." They like look up a couple names, and like they just run with those two names. They're like, "Yeah, Andre Agassi and Serena Williams." Like, dude, they're like the best this year. You know, I've all I've been hearing about, and it's like, dude, 3 months ago, you told me that you hated soccer, or you know what I mean, you've never talked about soccer, or the last time you talked about soccer was the last World Cup. Haven't heard
Yeah,
you talk about it since. Stop trying to
exactly.
fool me, you fair weather soccer World Cup.
I actually watch soccer, and so like the thing is for the World Cup for me, I was always rooting for England because I have English roots, but also the fact that it's like
Everybody's like Manchester United because that's the only soccer team that they know.
rather funnily enough, I am actually a Manchester United supporter.
Yeah. And they
I
only
actually
know it
I
because
have
that
a
movie.
I have a well, okay, what because of Bend It Like Beckham.
No, what? No.
Well,
What?
David Beckham used to play for
Green
Manchester
Street.
United.
Green Street Hooligans, baby.
I gotta watch that.
What, dude? You haven't seen Green Street Hooligans?
No,
Oh my god! Watch Green Street Hooligans, bro.
I will
You
look
would
it up.
dude. It is the most graphically into. All you'll want to fight after that movie, dude.
That's a
It
heck of a
is.
cast.
It is
Heck,
insane,
Elijah Wood, Charlie Hunnam.
dude. You have no idea. Green Street Hooligans is out of this world. The
I'll have to give it
violence,
a shot.
the like, dude, it's a feel good like movie, but in the most twisted way, right? Like the moral of the movie is like you're not made of glass.
Yeah.
You know, all you just get punched in the face once and you realize you're not made of glass, and then
Okay.
it's on.
Interesting.
But it's about
But-
two factions. You know what I mean? It's about two soccer. Like there's gangs that are associated, like the Manchester United. Like let's just say Manchester United, right? Their fans are the gang. Like there's a core group, they're the gang for Manchester United. And then for Liverpool, there's another gang. And like at the
It's
game, they see each other, and then afterwards there's a brawl. Dude, watch
oh
Green Street
yeah.
Hooligans. You need to
As
watch it. It's the
as
next thing.
someone who's as someone who's at least vaguely familiar. Oh, it was interesting. It was burning Birmingham City. I can speak, I swear. But yeah, oh yeah, and the Millwall and stuff like that. Yeah, I'll have to give this a shot because yeah, I'm familiar with all the hooliganism over there. So this will be interesting.
You're gonna
I'll
come
definitely
back to
give
me
it
and
a
you're gonna
shot.
be like, bro,
Why did I never?
that movie was so intense.
There was there was a movie. I forget what movie it was now, but like there was a movie I watched very recently that I was like, how have I never seen this movie before? And I have a feeling this will be on the list.
Question.
Yeah,
Did you like The Atom Project
I haven't seen the Adam Project.
on Netflix
No, I
with
haven't watched it.
Ryan Reynolds?
It looks fun.
Dude, it's so original. It's original in its own way. It's not original like super original, but it's original in its own way. They got really got something right. Ryan Reynolds is on fire, I think, with Deadpool, with this Adam Project movie, even with Free Guy and with the heist one with The Rock. I forgot what was the name. Red Notice.
Red
Red
Notice.
Notice. All of the movies that Ryan Reynolds has done lately have been successful. And most likely will get sequels. We already know Red Notice is getting a sequel. We already know that this Adam Project movie's most likely going to get a sequel. I don't know how they would pull it off, but it seems like a movie that Netflix would try to capitalize on. I don't know though, because they might just leave it at that because they can. The story could end there. No spoilers, or I won't spoil it or anything, but they could leave it alone, or they could do a sequel. They definitely left it open for a sequel that could be done, or they could leave it alone and it would be fine standalone. So I'm Red Notice is getting a sequel. Deadpool is getting a
Okay.
sequel.
Oh,
Huh?
obviously Deadpool. So yeah, obviously Deadpool is getting a sequel.
Yeah, we just don't know when and how and where and why
Exactly.
and how and what.
Exactly.
So anyway, thank you everyone for showing up tonight. I did create an intro, but I did not get to create an outro for anything and everything. It was fun to talk about some wacky and wild news topics. It was fun talking about some pop culture topics, and we also got into some politics and stuff. And that's kind of how this is gonna be. So on Sundays for an hour, typically, it's just gonna be shooting the shit and talking. So you can support the channel by becoming a member or sending a super chat while we're live, guys. Truly, now that it's me by myself, I could use all the help I can get, guys. I really try to give my all when I come on here, and I try to deliver a professional and structured show. So I really do appreciate the support that y'all give and that y'all feel. So thank you for being part of the Pop Culture Corner, and just know that you are the Pop Culture Corner. For lack, for that's because that's who it is. I wouldn't be here without you. So the viewer, are what make doing this worth it, and that's why I put the money in. People move on, right? I've seen it the most. First it was Justice, then Austin, then Jack, Caden. I don't know what's going on with, but now it's just me, and I'm gonna keep doing content because I love doing it. I have my sequel to the Aircut documentary thing that I'm doing coming out very soon. I'm working on it. Yeah, I'm working on it right now. The first part came out really good. I advise that you check it out. It's just called, actually, I forget what the title is. The David Ayer Story, Part 1. Check it out. It's a pretty good video. Short video, but a good video. And it just kind of starts that story, and we're going to keep it going. And I'm going to do it in 3 or 4 parts. So it's going to be fun. I also have some interviews lined up, as said before. So content isn't going to be scheduled for right now. It's going to be more sporadic. I'll try to give you guys as much notice as possible, but just know that, I'm just doing my best. That's all I can do.
Exactly.
So, and TW and people like that, I was thinking about it, and I've worked with a team since I started the show. So for the first time, I'm on my own. But I look around, there's so many people that run shows by themselves.
Yeah, and I think what it also gives you a chance to do is, especially because you
I'm
don't,
not responsible for anyone else's views anymore.
and not
Just
just
my
that,
own.
but I think also a great thing is the fact that you get to kind of get to figure out who you are in the space because you've worked with teams. I mean, not that you don't know who you are, but you get to kind of crystallize it a little bit.
Yeah. No, and I want to do more tech videos, like tech reviews. I have
Yeah.
the tech corner that I've already made a playlist for. I have a video that's in the works about actually this. I will show you.
And he will be back, and he's back.
So this is the Alcatel One. It's a mobile hotspot from T-Mobile, and you can, dude. This thing is so good. It is so good that I'll show you. I could show you a speed test. Basically, in the video, what I do is I am as you can see right now. I am very clear. There's no hiccups, right? All that stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's very like it's in time, and that's because I'm hardwired to the router. But I when I go to Showcase, the problem is they don't have internet. So we got this. Showcase Cinemas bought this for me, and I pay the $10 a month for the service. Yeah,
Yeah.
for the data. So it was like an even trade, for 1 year. Then
It's,
we'll split it. But I'm basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start the video on my wired connection, and then I'm going to end the video on this internet, and I'll show you what it can do. I've already tested it 3 or 4 times, and it's really, really good. And for anyone who needs a mobile hotspot, this thing is awesome. So, and it doesn't. You don't have to have T-Mobile. They make for other versions too.
right on.
But it's really good. So that's what I'm going to start with. But then I'm going to get into like cameras. I'm basically what the goal is to compile a bunch of videos together. So anyone who's starting a podcast
Has a place to go. Like it can be.
yeah,
it's a
there's a
one-stop
video
shop.
for you. So I'm gonna have a video on microphones. I'm gonna have a video on microphone arms. I'm gonna have a video on lighting. I'm gonna have a video on cameras, like which cameras, like starter cameras, more advanced cameras, softwares that are open
Are free and open
broadcast,
source and stuff like that.
open
Like,
sourced.
yes.
Yeah. Or you could, or more advanced ones that you can buy. So basically I'm going to do all the physical things and the stuff that's
Oh, the
more
hardware and the software.
yeah, basically. So those videos are going to be fun, and TW, maybe you can stop in on a couple of them. And
If I'm available, if I'm available, I'm always, don't
they
be
won't be
afraid.
live streams. They're more like
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah,
pre-recorded
if
stuff.
if it's pre-recorded, then we can definitely, because at least that way I can definitely work out a date. We can kind of
Yeah.
work these things out.
And
a little bit.
it's fun, I'll
yeah.
we'll talk about the ins and outs of certain things. So I definitely this is a new microphone, this Shure microphone. So
Yeah.
Shure
it's
makes
really
what I think are the best podcast microphones there are. If you like, Joe Rogan uses Shure, Joey Diaz. Me and Joey Diaz have the same microphone. This is the one below, like the best one.
Yeah.
So I really love it. The only thing is it's kind of wonky, and it's like the wire. I think the wire is defective. I think I gotta. I have a multiple of these. I gotta change it out, but I just haven't.
SLRs are they're relatively cheap. They're easy to access. You can pretty much go to
Yeah.
any
Well,
electronic-
these microphones, this Shure, and I have other microphones here, like
Yeah.
I'm a big Samson guy. Samson is my, so you can see that my microphone arm is Samson, right? And this is Samson. This black microphone right here is Samson. I really like Samson as a company. They make fantastic microphones and microphone accessories. They really do. Shure, I've been wanting a Shure for a long time, so I went out and got one. But I will switch back to the Samson at a moment's notice. I have
Yeah.
another microphone like this. The Yeti is a USB microphone. I don't use those anymore. So this is literally
Yeah.
this will
Like
never be
I'm
used
I'm getting
again.
I'm getting an audio interface soon enough.
Yeah,
Just
so that's what I use.
simple 2-channel
I
audio interface.
yeah, I have a four channel audio interface.
What's your interface?
Huh?
What's your interface? Oh no.
It's Audio Box.
Okay.
So I wanted the Scarlet, but it's just too expensive.
Yeah, like I'm gonna get the 2i2 just because all I really need it for me is the all I really need is it for the microphone and the direct monitoring because
Yeah, but you don't need to go with this. Like you don't. There's other ones. The Audio Box 96 is
Yeah.
half the price, and it works just as great.
Yeah, and in my case, the main reason I'm getting that has less to do with the fact that I'm like for for podcasting. I'm doing it for music recording because
Oh yeah.
so like
Well,
it works a little bit better. I like the mic. The mic breeze. I've heard it quite good. So
yeah.
Focusrite have heard are a good thing.
That's why.
I'd recommend it from the music recording side from a lot of guys I
Yeah, Shri. There he goes, disappearing. I was just checking it. I have, but
He's
yeah,
he's
I
providing the
love I, as soon as I got the audio interface, everything changed. Like my audio sounds so much better now. USB microphones are great, but
same thing.
they're so limiting. You can't plug two USB microphones into a computer, and you can't record at the same time unless you download a virtual audio cable and then run an open sourced version of like a recording studio. So it becomes very difficult, and you're like you're cutting a lot of corners that shouldn't be cut. So audio interfaces are the way to go. But I'm gonna demonstrate all of that for you, and I'm also gonna get into like how to because I'm lucky enough to have a whole room. I could have I could have two studios if I wanted. I have enough room to do that. But I'm also gonna talk about desks. I have an L-shaped desk, so as you can see. There's reasons for it. There's reasons why I picked an L desk. So like you can see the logo like this on this screen, as well as all my background stuff. And I get to have a computer screen for myself. I do all these things for a certain reason. I've a lot of people used to give me shit about how I changed everything a lot, but I call it improving.
Yeah. You do what works for you.
Like my studio never will stay the same.
Yeah.
But now I'm working on the next phase. The next thing that I want to do is I want to rent an office space as a studio. Like that would be the next tier of what I
Yeah.
want to do. And that's gonna happen like after the showcase deal and hopefully. So we'll see. But that is all for tonight. TW, where if they want to continue the conversation, where can they find you?
Well done for using my catchphrase. If y'all want to continue the conversation, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit at TWMK34 as put in my little Chiron there. If Dow wants to pop up the names, it'll be there for your viewing pleasure.
What?
Like if you pop up the
Yeah, there it
man.
is.
So if you guys want to talk somewhere, I'm there. Instagram, Twitter, Reddit at TWMK34.
Yep, and then obviously mine are posted right here on the banner. Instagram and Facebook are the same at pop_culture corner 2020. All of our links are in the description below. Guys, join our Discord. And use our code. If you're a content creator and you're not using TubeBuddy, then you're losing out. You're only hurting yourself. TubeBuddy is this great tool that whether you're a small creator, a medium creator, or a large creator, it is a resource that I think all creators should use. It integrates directly with YouTube, so it works simultaneously with YouTube. It allows you to make changes and get suggestions for SEO, for thumbnail creation, etc., so on and so forth. So use code POP, that's POP at checkout, or use our description link and sign up for TubeBuddy and get a little bit of a discount and then help us out as well. And then also catch us at the Springfield Comic Con. Saggy Melons and myself will have our own table. Come join us. If you want to take the trip out to Springfield, Massachusetts, if you want to come out, see some, join the live show. We're gonna have our own table there. It's gonna be really fun. It's gonna be like a normal podcast, but live from a Comic-Con. So it's gonna be really funny and real fun. And it's and yes, Saggy and I will be dressing up. So yes, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I don't know who. I'm gonna take a poll. We'll take a poll in the next week or two about who I'll be. I was thinking Spider-Man for obvious reasons, but we can go a different way. We'll take a poll. But thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, do all that shit. Get your grandmother to watch. I don't know. But I love you all. And that's everything and anything. Everything and anything.
You can't make this shit up.